everything is always changing. Nothing is static. Your life is constantly changing. We need like a different word for like negative selfishness. We need like a word for like when you're being a dick.
Narcissist.
Yeah.
Man, I'm really bad at this. I'm not the greatest.
You don't take care of yourself?
Well, clearly, no.
You can't progress without mistakes and failure. You literally can't. You can't learn. You can't do shit. But dude, mistakes and failure and messiness, that's the way to grow, babies. Hi. Welcome back to Growing Up with Devon. We have a fun episode today. I have my producer, Rami, with me.
What up?
Millennial travel superstar.
And producer of the best podcast in the world.
That's right. Helping me grow this thing. Rami came to join me today. So here's what happened. In our YouTube community, which we're pretty active on, we're always kind of asking you guys and interacting on there. Rami asked a great question, which is, what is your adulthood life survival tip? So we are gonna respond to some of the best of them and discuss, because we're all going through this shit together. So let's hear what your adulthood survival tips are.
Yeah, okay. Some of these are really good. So the first one I'm going to read is from Shannon. She says, my advice is ask yourself this when you're going through something. If someone you love was in the situation that you're struggling with, what advice would you give them? Oftentimes we are kinder, gentler, and more loving to our friends and harder on ourselves. You deserve to give yourself the same love and patience that you give out.
That's great.
Yeah. It's so true.
It's great. It is so true. Sometimes you got to like zoom out. We get so stuck in our negative self-talk or whatever. We're hard on ourselves.
Yeah,
Most of us are.
And not even that, but I find with a lot of my friends who are talking about relationship stuff, they'll be like, this guy is doing X, he's not texting me back, blah, blah, blah. What advice would you give to your friend going through that? You'd be like, stop talking to him.
Right.
And why don't you,
right.
Tell yourself that too.
Yeah.
So big things and small things, I think it's very relatable.
It's so true. Shannon, that's great.
I love it.
Thanks.
I love it. Okay, this one's from Susie. Make time for the people who make time for you and learn to love yourself first to learn your worth and value. Make time for those who make time for you is so true also.
Yeah, don't be chasing a friendship.
Yeah, and people that say like, oh, I'm busy. No one's busy for things they actually want to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It depends, but most of the time.
No, I know what you mean. And sometimes it's not as sad as like, oh, they're so busy that they don't love me. Sometimes it is true. Like, yes, you're not a priority, but not in a way that they've deemed you bad. Just maybe pay attention. Yeah, they've got too much shit going on and you're not it. And you don't need to chase anybody. And also how did she phrase the love yourself before what?
She said, learn to love yourself first to learn your worth and value.
Yeah. So I've ranted about relationships on this podcast, right? And I saw this clip the other day of the comedian Rick Glassman. He was on someone else's pod. And I saw this clip of him. He phrased things about this that I've ranted on in a way that I was like, oh, I feel like that's what I've been trying to say. But mine comes out a little judgy and jaded, even though I stand by it.
What did he say?
It was more along the lines of that, which is like, you really have to learn to love yourself. He said something like, we're looking for someone to come along and complete us and save us and all that shit. And he's like, when you grow, when you really actually start to do that yourself, and then from there, then maybe you can actually decide to be with someone.
What do you think is a good measure of feeling like, okay, yeah, I do love myself? What is a good measure of knowing that you're at that point?
I mean, it's always changing. You're never there and it's done. Life never stops. It's never static. It's always moving. So you might hit that and then not hit it and hit it and not hit it. But good measure, can you take yourself out on a date and feel good about it?
Yeah.
Can you go through a day by yourself and actually feel like,
you're like, I'm entertaining myself right now.
Yeah.
I love this. When I'm driving and I'm singing a song to myself and having a little, it's like, I love myself right now. This is so fun.
Yeah.
Anyone else would have so much fun here too. And that's how I know.
Yeah, same.
But it does change all the time.
It changes all the time. Yeah. But cooking myself a meal and it's just a sense of being. You just feel like, I got this, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't need anyone else to tell me I'm okay.
Yeah.
I love it. This one's a really good one from Sierra Lauren. She says, if you have a place for everything, you won't have a mess. Example being, if you have a place for your keys to go every time, a specific place for clothing to go, you won't leave it laying around. This actually changed my life reading this right now because I'm like, yeah, if I had space that I knew things were going to go, I wouldn't be such a slob. And it kind of reminds me of Tommy's episode where he said willpower is just setting up your environment in a way that makes it more accessible to you to actually do the things you need to do.
Yeah.
So
that's great. Yeah. Yeah. Have a little key ring and then you know where it goes. That's where your wallet and keys go every time, right? Obviously hamper for your laundry, except we all have that fucking chair.
Dude, I got rid of the chair though. This is my advice. I had the chair at my old apartment. It would be a pile. And I was like, you know what? In this new apartment, I am not putting a chair in the room.
But then you're just going to have a pile on the floor.
No, well, not yet, but probably. I'm in the phase of like, I'm not going to do that, but probably.
Mine's my desk chair, so I can't get rid of it, except sometimes I look at it and I'm like, can't even sit at my fucking desk.
Yep. Set up your environment.
Yeah, that's great advice. See, I love this premise in general, which is getting your guys' tips at home, because we all have the answers, you know? We all have the answers. They're out there. You guys know, you guys have figured things out. Yeah, like wealth in community and wealth in yourself. Like you don't always have to seek it outside of you. Like chances are you know a lot of the ways to get through your life.
This next one. It's okay to outgrow friends. Some people aren't meant to be with you forever, yet the memories should still be cherished.
This is cool. This is cool hearing it because I've definitely learned that. I think I've talked about it on the pod. What this lets me know, all these tips, what it lets me know is like we all have to arrive to these lessons together. Like, or we have to arrive to them on our own, but as a generation together. This is growing up. Is these lessons are going to hit all of us. And like that person clearly learned it well. I've learned it in my life. Oh, wow. Some friends aren't meant to be around forever. Sometimes you grow in a different way.
Yeah. Friend breakups are weird too, because it's not as finite as a romantic breakup.
Nope.
You're not always going to just send a text, hey, I don't want to be your friend anymore.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, sometimes there's a way to do it because there are instances where you need to walk away from certain friendships and that's totally okay.
Yeah. And then some are a little more like subtle than that. Some are just like, I don't know, I don't feel like hanging out with that person.
Fade.
And it slowly fades.
Yeah. The slow ghost. I'm not opposed to that. Like, I think also you have to recognize when maybe sometimes that's happening to you and like, whatever.
Yeah.
That person is clearly going on a different journey and you just got to let it be. You can't cling on to something that isn't working anymore.
Yeah.
So thank you to Kappa Poop something is their title.
Kappa Poop?
Yeah, that's their YouTube handle. Thank you for that one.
Thanks, Kappa Poop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is a great one as well. It kind of goes with that one. Accept change as the only constant in life. Because the moment you accept it, everything thrown your way won't shock you and you will be the most chilled person. True.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Who was that?
This one is, and this is me.
And this is me. I agree entirely and easier said than done.
Yeah.
But it's true, man. The hard part is it's really part of our psychology and biology to want homeostasis. Our drives, our natural drives are always trying to find our settle point. Like, okay, even if it's a mess, you're like, I know this mess. I'm in homeostasis. Like I'm balanced with everything in my life. And so there's this natural drive to find homeostasis with the equal truth that everything is always changing. Nothing is static. Your life is constantly changing. So reckoning those two things can be difficult, but he's right, man. Or she, I don't know. Change is it. And some of our lives are set up more for change than others.
Like some people?
Yeah, in some situations, like if you live in a small town that you've always lived in and your family's there and your job's there and you've had the same job for 20 years, like the change, I'm sure it's still occurring because you different relationships, different feelings, at least the weather's changing, right? Like, but it's a smaller change. Some of us have these kind of bigger.
Right. Our lives are clearly very transient. Like you never know.
Yeah.
You could book something next week and be like, oh, well, okay, gotta move my life. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely embrace the change of my life. I actually crave it.
I would say try to have fun with it too.
Yeah.
If it does happen, you just, start to crave it because it makes life interesting.
If I'm in the same situation for too long, I get a little...
Yeah.
You know?
I just want to fly to Scotland like that one guy.
Exactly.
Okay. I love this one. You and Kendall talked about this. This person, be Demon. Oh, be demon? Okay. Try not to discourage yourself by comparing yourself to other successful people. They have their own path and you have yours. Focus on what you can control.
It's real, man. Everyone's finding these nuggets. I'll say with all these tips, I've arrived to them at different points in my life, right? So like you might fully have that tip integrated. You're like, yes, I'm not comparing myself to other people anymore. I'm really keeping it just focused. I'm staying in my lane and my lane's great, right? And then you might hit a period where
You
that
start
goes
doing it
by the
again.
wayside and
Yeah.
you start doing it again. And then you return to it again, but this time you're in a new place and you can actually hold it deeper. Like, I think that's how it goes. Like we hold our wisdom at different times throughout our life.
Yeah. One thing that helps me when I do start to compare again, because it's natural, it's going to happen. I don't remember where I learned this trick, but basically when you're comparing yourself to someone, you have to look at the full picture of their life. Would you trade places with every single thing in their life? Probably not. You
Yeah.
might want their job or their boyfriend or whatever,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't trade the whole
whole
picture. And
thing.
you don't even know the whole picture.
Exactly.
So that's a good trick if you find it happening over and over again.
Right.
And I'm like, oh
Would you
no,
really
I
want
actually,
all that?
Yeah, I really wouldn't want all
Who
that.
do you compare yourself to?
Oh man, am I in a therapy session now? Usually it's people that are more successful than me that are doing cooler things or have more money, honestly.
Yeah,
That's a big one
money's
for
a big
me.
one.
It's I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
if
me
I was
too.
just rich. But then you look at those people and you're like, oh, well, they have this shitty thing. And you know what? I don't want all that. So
Yeah, I was curious because like for me on like the acting, like for me on the
you can
art-
clearly see it.
Yeah, like you know who I'm comparing myself
Yeah,
to. Like
yeah.
it's very whatever. It's like very clear who I compare myself to. That's why I was curious because I know everyone does it.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, is it like old
Or
friends
or
just
it's
other
even
people
like
on socials?
hot girls
and-
on Instagram. I'm like, damn, she looks good in friggin' bikini. Like, I don't look like that. But then I think, okay, well, I don't know her life. She could be
do you
struggling with X, Y, and Z,
For sure.
right? And yeah, I'd rather be me.
Yeah. We all do that. Guys do that too. I
Yeah.
mean, for sure. I see some ripped dude.
Hunty?
Damn, fucking Hunter. Hunter and the big juicy cheeks. Yeah, he's shredded, that guy. And
Yeah.
sometimes I see it and I'm like, I don't want their life.
Yeah.
I actually learned that a while ago because I compare myself, or because there's certain parts of acting that I want that I don't have. I recognized a while ago that tip that you just gave, which is like, yeah, I want those jobs, but I would not trade my life for anyone's. I wouldn't trade my problems and my path for anyone's. Like, no fucking way. No way.
Yep. Okay, this is a good one too. Self-care isn't selfish. It's important to take care of and extend compassion to yourself. I feel like you've talked a lot about selfishness and like the right amount.
Yeah.
So
It's that love thing, man. Like, you can't love a partner if you don't love yourself. You can't. It will end up codependent. It will, like, if you can't take care of yourself.
yeah, or anyone in your life. You can't show up to those people unless you're being selfish with yourself, because otherwise you people please, you end up in a rut of like a big web of things that you can't control that are outside of you. So you need to take time
Yeah, I think we
and
grow
be
up.
selfish.
I think we grow up like selfish gets this connotation that it's negative when we grow up because the only times we're hearing it is in this like, oh, they're being selfish, not they're taking care of themselves and like they're prioritizing themselves. But we need like a different word for like negative selfishness. We need like a word
Right.
for like when you're being a dick.
Narcissist.
Yeah, and like you're just prioritizing yourself because you have to, because no one else is gonna do it. You have to prioritize your well-being. You got to, and you can do it in a loving way.
Yeah.
What's one of your self-care things, Rami?
Ooh, like a practice
Yeah.
that I do. Man, I'm really bad at this. I'm not the
You don't take
greatest
care of
person.
yourself?
Well, clearly, no. But I honestly struggled with saying no for so long. And so my biggest thing now is just being very conscious when I want to agree to everything and I want to say yes to everything. I have to recognize that that is a form of self-care, is saying, actually, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
And that's fine. The person's not going to like me any less.
Yep.
So for me, it's saying no, and I'm still not great at it, but I do it a lot more now. And that is my self-care.
People will like you more too
If you do that.
if your no's are real.
Yep.
And then when you say yes and mean it, it's real.
Yeah, it's the whole confidence, trusting your word and having other people trust your word.
Yes.
Being reliable, I think, is so underrated.
Yeah.
And you don't even notice when someone is reliable, but like you clearly notice when they're not.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it. When someone's like, says, oh yeah, I'm gonna, and then they don't, you're like,
Yeah. Yep. But when they do it, it's like, oh, cool. It's not really like commended enough, but it's such a thing. Like, I love a reliable person.
Yeah.
This is a great one to end on. Mistakes are proof that you are trying.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. I have also needed to learn to embrace failure. Like, I'm such a perfectionist. I don't know if you are, but like,
I have that.
you just have to do it. Like Rob was talking about putting out music that he didn't love and like he can see mistakes with it. But I thought that was so cool because there's so much I don't put out into the world unless it's like perfect. But who cares? No one knows. They don't have the same lens as you.
Yeah, there's that phrase, don't let perfect be the enemy of good.
Yeah.
I think it's so powerful to like really meditate on that sentence.
Yeah.
Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. And the grass is greener where you water it. Those kind of get involved.
And maybe tell yourself when you do fuck up or mess up or make a mistake, tell yourself that you get a little treat so you're not afraid of it as much.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I do that every day, but like reward yourself with something special when it does happen so it doesn't feel as scary maybe.
Yeah. If you make a mistake, but you did something brave, reward yourself.
Yeah, only in that case.
If you messed up, but it was in the pursuit of progress and like you literally did something brave, you should know that that's a win. You can't progress without mistakes and failure. You literally can't. You can't learn. You can't do shit. It's like, that is the path. And it's so hard for those of us with perfectionism or self-esteem issues, like, because you never want to feel that, I'm a failure. You never even want to touch that sensation. So you stop putting yourself out there. But dude, mistakes and failure and messiness, that's the way to grow, babies.
Growers here.
That's right. Yeah, I make mistakes all the damn time. It's great. It's great.
What was the last mistake you made?
I don't know, man. I'm perfect. Shut up.
Yeah, I know. Okay. We'll end on that.
I never make any mistakes. I'm perfect. No, my whole life has been a mistake. What? No. Guys, thank you for engaging with us on the community tab on YouTube. Honestly, go look through all those answers.
There's a lot more. That was 5 of...
I know. It's such a great list. You guys have a ton of wisdom out there. Thanks for offering it to us here. And let's keep growing up together, my friends.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for being here, Rami.
Yay.
I made Rami do this episode. Bye.